This is day 1,500 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. We've gone a long way. A lot of siyātā deshmīah. Hallelujah, we should have siyātā deshmīah further. Today we're doing Yeridei Siman Reish Beites, Sif Aleph to Tes. Reish Beites, Mokum Kfiusa, the place where you put the mezuzah. And how do you place the mezuzah? U'birchasa, and the bracha you make when you're koveh the mezuzah. You can't ask why we don't write two mezuzahs, one on each of the doorposts. You can see since it says slaptam mezuzos, plural. The Rishon b'Shabbat ksiv mezuzas chaser, even though the ksiv is chaser. Aval b'ayim shor ksiv molei, but b'yashmor it's molei. For the ha yesh ein lemikra also. We believe that the way you read the psukim also makes a difference. Right, it says mezuzos. It sounds like I hear a minimum of two. It says mezuzah the second time, the second parsha, which is unnecessary. It's an inclusion after an inclusion. If you have an inclusion after another inclusion, it's an exclusion. The pasuk excluded one of the mezuzahs. It says not necessary. It says by the kol and pesach, you put the blood on the lintel and the two doorposts. Why is it two? This is a binyan of. It's a general construct. Any place where it says mezuzos, so it's only one unless it specifies two. Base you can ask her Meir Dorish Hashem Yachta Bishmar Yakiba Tapu Patim Echachai Mezuzah. The Meir learns from that which Shmuel and Rebbe said that even one patim is chayim mezuzah. One mezuzah if you only have one doorpost on your door. Rosh Meir doorpost on the right side. You're chayim mezuzah. But we're going to say that according to Shita Ram, most of the poskim paskin like Chachamim. Not like Reb Meir, that's Chachamim are Reb Meir, that they're going to explain the words of Yeshua Akiva are going on, not on how many posts you have, but on the writing of the scrolls for the post. The makes sense why in the first section it says mezuzas chaser without the extra buff. Tells you only have to write one mezuzah. And the second parsha says malay mezuzos with above. Two doorposts specifically. Brackets it says you can't answer that. You need to have. I don't know what he wants to answer with this, but. Teaches you two mezuzos, I guess, because if you have to check one of them, to check which one, it tells you do derech biyoscha implies only one of them, not the second one, the one which you put on the right coming in. Basically, in a mutar, the word beischa is not superfluous, I guess, because mezuzos beisecha. Right, your house, need for your house. So, I guess derech biyoscha is either a smachta, or for some reason it's mashmos the kra, with now because the word is not miyutar, so we learn out differently. I don't know, maybe we'll find out. Gimel balakava, if you when you want to put it up, you can put it in a tube of reed or chocolate or anything else. You can come and fix in its place. Make the bracha. You don't make the bracha when you're writing it. Only make the bracha when you complete the mitzvah. I forgot the Gemara mitzvah. Even though the Gemara mitzvah is when you actually live there. This is the mezuzah is the obligation person is living there. You soon puts in the mezuzah when it's going to come to live in it. So if the taka doesn't want to live there now, should not put in the mezuzah. You cover levarech and he puts up a mega bracha. When he comes in to live there, it's on the door bayis sheyesh ba mezuzah. So we're going to have ram. Says mega bracha to live in a house which has a mezuzah. Emphasis on the bracha b'shak rak shas kiyusa. On the other main spots, only made the bracha enacted the bracha for the time when you put it up. Feel daitel the kodesh lachazman, even if you have mind to come in later on. Come yochel bracha b'shas kiyusa pesa. Nevertheless, you can make the bracha when you put it on the opening. Came in the kavan, do besola because you intend to live there. I think that's the other minute. To put the mezuzah, even though you might not live there immediately. We never heard any other bracha besides the mezuzah. Brackets, he says, he said, possibly. Then the argues, I much time Simon Subsi on Mesa Gallup. Ubar Chaim Simon test of Yaim Simon Mesa base. Dalit. If you're going to put up 2 or 3 mezuzahs, one more. We make one bracha of them. We shouldn't interrupt with idle chatter. Show me the mezuzah, which is not relevant to mezuzah. Yeah, that means even divrei Torah, if they're not relevant to mezuzah, they're considered the sicha b'teila vis-a-vis the bracha. Another way, a pass you remove it from the opening, the vodka to check it, it says kshera, and you find it's kosher, chazal, kov, and you put it back into the bracha, you don't have to make a bracha. Well, Poshi tells you so, if you show, just like somebody takes his towels momentarily, love should put it on again, he doesn't make a second bracha. If you put it back a day later, you still make a bracha. It says pesula. If it was found to be possible, put up another bracha, another mezuzah, make a bracha as well. Chenim nofla me'atzo, so it fall off on its own. Put a bracha, make a bracha, and you put it back. Nofla taliso, like your house falls off. Baruch Chaim Simon Ches. V'bracha mevarach ba'abais av she'achar koveh. Brothers made by Abais, even somebody else putting on the mezuzah for him. Made him evasive, he's not at home. So Ishto, his wife, makes the bracha. Abais, so remember the household Shalem Mutachim has obligation because they live there. But not another person puts it out. This is not incumbent upon him because it's the obligation person who dwells there. So somebody who rents a house and his friend, the renter has to put up the mezuzah. So the renter makes the bracha, not the landlord. As you come clarify more later on. Hey, what place do you put him? Mezuzah on the opening of the door, on the doorpost of the door. Should be on the right side. The right side coming in. Doesn't matter if he's a lefty in his hands or lefty in his feet. That buys the by the house because the house made anybody lives there. Not for a specific person. Also, the Torah here did not link it to a specific individual. As in tefillin, whereas the darshina yadcha, where you darshan with yadcha yad keha, the weaker hand, but tosa biyad yad adam, and it links it to the hand of a person. Ava b'mezuzah, you see beischa. Mezuzah says your house, so it's a chayvan house. Okay, rather than and when a person wants to go in, he uproots his right foot first. I guess generically, not individually. That's the way. Well, most of the overarchingly what people do. His specific leg is not mentioned in the Torah. Okay, and it says brackets ein shach to see because they Torah was a difficulty with this finish as a shapir, but where it says it works out fine with Duke. Side mean huli kuva, the right side is an impediment. The covered side small, but the left side is possible. Babakilo some mezuzah clouds if you didn't make zuzah at all. Another small you take out left off the left side, the cover be a mean, you put it on the right side, Muval can make a bracha. Bracket says levush kosad the base chamiyutor. Okay, well obviously contradicts what we said earlier today. Va be as it may. Davar move on who. It's understood. Sheesh babayis kama chadolim. When the house has several rooms, comes in several openings. Yesh b'shtei tzil so shusarim chotzer. It's got 2 exits to shusarim to the courtyard. Tziachas b'kosim mizrach. One exit on the east side. Tziachas kosim on the west side. Oh, so it's the drum. It's north and south. Melish yitzhap with tzirei hayamani baswali. Obviously the hinges of the right and left will flip. That which was going to be right side will be coming through the right. The other side so will be the left side. Derech Marav will be coming through the left. Therefore, the Semenach says, go after the recognition of the hinge. Such an open between 2 houses. Rashi explains, each house has an opening to the public domain. A passage means zelazeh. but the opening between the two of them, which is considered to be coming in, which is to be going out. You go after the hole in the threshold, in which the hinge turns. Obviously, their hinges, not like our hinges that attach to the side of the door. Their hinges were simple hinges like we find in toys. A hole in the bottom, a hole at the top, and a stick would go in top, and stick would go bottom. The side in which that the hole is, and supports the door. That's considered house with Arukh Yamin and going in. And when you go to the right, when you go in there, put the mezuzah kalashon. Doesn't matter. There's one door to the opening, or two half doors to which the doors open. I'm sorry, the room into which the door is open. That's the way going in. Put mezuzah to the right side of that opening. Zayin, miulav klolu. It's not a general principle ever. Levush writes, that's what you go to the house, to the winter house. And put on the right side going for the house into the winter house. Our main usage is in the winter house. We don't follow Heker Tzir at all. The tzir is on the outside, on the inside. Also, the mezuzah to make the mezuzah on the right side, going in. Mordechai writes the same Marie. Is only when they're both primary. If you're going from the house into a room or to a second floor, since the primary way is to go from the house into that secondary room. Don't pay attention to the Heker Tzir. Akan Lashono. Ches Cloud Voim. The general principle, according to the custom of our house, we're going to have several questions. And openings. Which is the right of the doorway? Under normal circumstances, when there's an opening to the street. Beside Mizrach on the eastern side, an opening to the courtyard on the other side, all the rooms will be different. If we look at the opening from the street, it's side, I mean. This side's going to be right. Look at the opening from the courtyard, you'll have it's the opposite. So when there are two openings, from the house to the courtyard, like many of our houses. And one door goes from the house to another from the kitchen, which is a separate room back then. There are two sides. There'll be it's not just separate room, a separate house. There'll be on two different two different directions. The right and the left will change. Also the house itself. So many houses, the right and left are going to switch off. And where the hinge is not always the best, not always the right side. You have to pay careful attention. Rabbis got questions about this all the time. If I can't explain all the details of this. General principle from the place we walk, and that's the place that they're normally coming from. That should be considered to be the opening. A place where the traffic is equal. They just follow the hinge. More than this we can't explain, obviously. Lubavitch, of course, they always follow Heker Tzir, even where it's counterintuitive. Test. Based on Mocha Mitzad Yamin, you can find mezuzah on what side and the right side. You should put the mezuzah east of Menachos. It's a near Tochalosh. The pass the put it in the cavity of the opening, on the outside. Mitzvah anicha b'tefach. Some of Rosh Hashanah it's mitzvah to put it in the tefach adjacent to Rosh Hashanah. If the thickness of the opening is 4 or 5 tvachim. You find this in old houses much more than new houses. Like go to Shalim and the house is built in terms of the time of the Ottoman Turks. You'll see they're very thick doorways. Such as you have a wall 4 or 5 tvachim. It's a very thick wall. You should put him. In the cavity of the tefach or something, which is a rabbim, which is right there, she kayaktim b'mitzvah b'knisa lebeso, so you should come upon the mitzvah immediately when you come into your house.